You don't really know much about Halloween.
Hello and welcome back to another unboxing video. I am your host Joel. I am one half of the Newlydeads, and if you'd like to know who the Newlydeads are, please go to our website at thenewlydeads.com where you can find our blogs that we write, information about our other YouTube videos on this channel. You can also find our show Dollar Store Drive-In, which is available on these 4 networks, as well as we convert it to a podcast every week, which is available on all of your fine podcasting directories. We are also artists, and we do pop-up markets on occasionally, so you can also find out where we're going to be, which we've kind of scaled that down a little bit this year, but we are still planning on doing at least one big event this year with our artwork. So keep an eye out for that. That is coming. So for this video, we're doing something a little different. I do a lot of unboxings with movies, but for this video, I'm doing a toy unboxing, which I do like to collect figures. And in this case, since my wife and I are very tied to the Bride of Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster, we tend to pick up things related to that character. So the first thing that we've got here is the Funko Pops, which you love them or you hate them. They have done a tie-in with Universal Monsters, and of course, with that comes the Bride and Frank. And on the back here, we've got the other characters that they have released, including Gilman and I believe, oh yeah, we've got Dracula, but since we are Bride and Frank people, I had to pick these up, and I have the Bride tattooed on my arm, she has Frank tattooed on her arm, and also just a little bit of inside information about me. I am a Care Bears fan. All right, now the other thing we've got here, aside from that, is we have I talked about this on a previous episode when I picked up a Bride and Frank, I'm just going to refer to them as Frank, I know it's Frankenstein's monster, figures where there were kids that were trick-or-treating, and I thought they were the Ben Coopyer NECA. Well, I just wasn't paying attention. I still like those figures. They're great. They're Super 7, real nice Clark. But I wanted to get the Ben Coopyer one, which there's not a Bride yet. There's only the Frankenstein's monster. And the Ben Coopyer, if you're not familiar with, he was a costume manufacturer between 1937 and 1992. And the plastic masks and smocks that he used to do kind of became notorious with Halloween because, you know, kids always talk about, that are my age, about the uncomfortable masks with the rubber bands that dug into your face, and they were plastic and sharp. And the plastic smocks were, you know, had images of the character on it. So it wasn't like you were really dressing up in full costume, so you had the illusion of being whatever that character was, but it just became such an iconic part of growing up that NECA has released this line of figures where it's little kids dressed up in the Ben Coopyer style costumes, some that were original and then some that they've riffed on to kind of create newer characters in that style, even though those costumes don't exist. So one of the ones that they have here is the Frankenstein's monster, which I will hold this up here so you can see it. I'll hide my face. And these figures are interesting because they're literally, you know, little kids dressed up like the character. And, you know, I mean, I don't know that anybody's going to necessarily go out and, you know, play with these per se. They're more for display purposes. But it's interesting because they seem to be fully sculpted. The mask goes over the face. And they've got, you know, the smocks on, they've got a trick-or-treat bag of some sort, and there's a whole line of them. So like this one, there's, you know, Gilman and Phantom of the Opera, Dracula. There's just, you know, there's a bunch, and there's already like at least 2 or 3 lines of this particular kind of the more traditional ones, but then they also have done recent characters, and they just keep growing. Like every time I look around, there seems to be more of these. And I can't, you know, can't keep up with all of them, nor that was my intention. But Frankenstein's monster I had to have because I'm sure there's going to be a Bride coming at some point. But this one, because I am a huge Rob Zombie fan and I love Captain Spaulding. House of a Thousand Corpses is one of my favorite horror films. How could you not get the Captain Spaulding? And this one actually goes a little bit differently with it, because instead of having, the image of Captain Spaulding on the smock, it actually has the full suit from House of a Thousand Corpses on it. And this is a girl dressed as Captain Spaulding, which is another little fun twist. But it includes, the bag that has, the Rob Zombie style art on it that the kid is carrying to trick or treat. And there's, some other ones in this line, like the Xenomorph, and there's a Krampus, there's the Mogwai and Gremlin. There's just a whole bunch of them. And there's a few other ones that I'm kind of interested in, but, again, there's just so many of them out there, and you can only have so much wall space or counter space to put them on. But I fell in love with this because, of course, got to have my Captain Spaulding House of a Thousand Corpses collection. So these are cool. If you find them, they are very well made. They seem to be anyway. The packaging is nice, and they look really nice on the wall. So, all right, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Help us to grow this channel in 2025. That is our goal for the year. And don't forget that tomorrow is not guaranteed. So please remember to unbox your heart. We'll see you next time.
Should be done, you see, between the real and the unreal. The dead might be looking in. Halloween, the festival of Samhain. Happy Halloween.